And with that, we are underway here at the 2019 Southland Bowling League Championship. I'm Mike Flanagan from InsideBowling.com, and welcome to round number 5 of this year's Southland Bowling League Championship. We're at USA Bowl in Dallas, Texas. And we are in our semifinals here this morning, this beautiful Sunday morning, getting started here at just 8 a.m. today. This is the final match of the losers bracket, and I'll tell you how they got here in just a few moments. Vanderbilt, the #1 ranked team in the country, the #1 seed in this tournament, got knocked down to the losers bracket yesterday by Sam Houston State University. They are #1 seeds. They are undefeated in the winners bracket. When I say #1 seeds, I mean they are the #1 team to beat as they sit in the winners bracket. Stephen F. Austin on the right side of your screen. The Lady Jacks, they've had a nice tournament. They came in as the #4 seeds. And their path here consisted of defeating Tulane in the opening round on Friday, and then on Friday afternoon they lost to Vanderbilt, came back Saturday morning and defeated Tulane for the second time, and then bowled Arkansas State yesterday afternoon and defeated Arkansas State to move on here. Vanderbilt got by Valparaiso in the first round, beat this Stephen F. Austin team in the second round, and then fell to Sam Houston State in the third round. So this morning we have the same format that we've had all weekend, which is this traditional team bowling game. And then they do 5 games of Baker. And if one team were to win one of those segments and the other team were to win the other, we would then go to a best-of-7 head-to-head Baker matchup. And once we conclude this match here to find out if Vanderbilt or Stephen F. Austin moves on to take on Sam Houston State, we'll be back around 11 a.m. with that match. Should the team from the losers bracket defeat Sam Houston State, we would then bowl again for a true double elimination, and it's a best-of-7. We skip the first 2 portions. We just go straight to a best-of-7 Baker match to determine this year's champion. There's a lot at stake. An automatic berth into the NCAA championships. So there is a berth to that tournament available, and I will tell you that Stephen F. Austin and Sam Houston State are no gimmies to get in. So locking it up here by winning this event would be huge for either school. Vanderbilt's going to get in regardless because they're the #1 ranked team in the country. I want to welcome everybody into our chat this morning on YouTube. I want to say hello to Alan Dale in the chat. very quiet here in the bowling center this morning. Let's go ahead and take a look at the lane pattern the ladies are bowling on today. It's the 2019 NCAA SBL Conference Championship lane pattern. It's a 2.07 to 1 ratio, very flat, very high demanding condition. Low scores, 26.55 milliliters of oil. Very, very flat condition out on the lanes. As I mentioned, Vanderbilt, the #1 seeds coming in. I'll go over their roster now. Number 2, Brianna Lahan. She's a junior from Perry Hall, Maryland. Number 8, Emily Rigney. She's a junior from East Doncaster, Australia. Number 11, Jordan Newham. She's a senior from Aurora, Illinois. Number 13, Maria Bolanova. She's a junior from Moscow, Russia. Number 16, Samantha Gaynor is from Chesterfield, Michigan. Number 24, Adele Wayner. She's from Las Cruces, New Mexico. And Kristen Kwa, a senior from Singapore, of course, coached by John Williamson and assistant head coach Josie Ernest Barnes. For the number 4 seed, Stephen F. Austin Lady Jacks, their roster consists of number 2, Paige Beanie. She's a senior from Salado, Texas. Number 14, Dakota Hazelwood. She's a senior from Capron, Illinois. Number 19, Megan Eaglehouse is a junior from Cibolo, Texas. Number 25, Sarah Voyer. She's a sophomore from Chesterton, Indiana. Number 12 is Sarah Gill. She's a sophomore from Attleboro, Massachusetts. Number 3, Dakota Fatchney. She's a sophomore from Innisfil, Ontario, Canada. And number 5, Carleen Bayer, the freshman from Ogdensburg, Wisconsin. The Lady Jacks are coached by Amber Lemke and assistant coach Steve Lemke. The ladies came ready to bowl today, I can tell you that, with having this many marks up on the board. Only have one open through almost 2 frames. Saw some slow starts on Friday and Saturday, but not a slow start to start out this tournament today. Looks like we have a slight delay in the action. Looks like they're retrieving a dead wood. As you can see, Rick Barbera make an appearance here. He is the tournament official here this weekend. I want to thank Rick for all the work that he's done this weekend, making sure that things run efficiently here at the Southland Bowling League Championship. Maria Bolanova with a strike for Vanderbilt. Dakota Hazelwood, anchor bowler for Stephen F. Austin. It's a 10-pin lead right now for Vanderbilt. Very early on, just through 2 frames. I want to thank Josh Modello and his entire family and proprietors here at USA Bowl for having us. A little Southern hospitality. It's been great. Tell you what, Stephen F. Austin over the last 2 days has really looked like the team with the best look to the pocket. They've been attacking the lane pattern further to the right than any other team, and it's really paid off for them. And we have our first open for Vanderbilt. 1 open per team. It's pretty good so far on this pattern. And a break on that crossover strike for Stephen F. Austin. They will gladly take that. Got a chance to have 4 strikes here in the 3rd frame. That extreme outside angle is working well for Stephen F. Austin. We've seen it in every single round. Vanderbilt playing a little more towards the center part of the lane. As the match goes on, the lanes will come to Vanderbilt. But early on, Stephen F. Austin attacking the outside portion of the lane. It seems to be working again. 7 of the last 10 shots have been strikes. All right, a double at the bottom from Maria. Vanderbilt just 2 strikes in the last 2 frames. So you make that 3 strikes. Compared to 7 for Stephen F. Austin. We'll see what happens here in the 4th. Vanderbilt starts with a strike. And Stephen F. Austin answers. Trying to slide it over. Nope. Doesn't bounce out. So an open frame for Vanderbilt. Stephen F. Austin now with a 9-pin lead. So we have a spare shooting clinic early this morning for both teams. Very evenly matched through 4 frames. It's an 8-pin lead right now for Stephen F. Austin. Starting to make some noise here this morning. Ladies this morning came to play. We might see our first 1,000 versus 1,000 match. Be the first one in the tournament. Dakota Hazelwood with a strike to finish out the 5th frame for Stephen F. Austin. It's pretty much an even match, 5-pin lead for Stephen F. Austin, but Vanderbilt throwing 4 strikes in the 5th frame with 2 doubles up on the board heading into the 6th. Vanderbilt really has got a 5-pin lead with the strikes not counting in yet, but still filling frames though, even with gutters or splits. Quite a bit of hard managed spares, so to speak. So now here comes Vanderbilt now. A triple from the leadoff bowler. Stephen F. Austin looking to answer here in the 6th. .310 baby split. See how many strikes Vanderbilt can bring down for doubles. That's not an easy spare, everybody, the 1-9. Yeah, she knew it off her hand. It was left to target or a little slow. Pays the ultimate penalty, 4-6-10. Oh, almost picks it up. Wow, very good effort. Maria Bolanova from Russia. Anchor bowler for Vanderbilt. Has really emerged to be a star in collegiate bowling, and she has another year left after this year, just a junior. I'm sure she'll be one that'll go on to the PWBA tour and will probably win on tour. She is that good, and you see the 5-bagger up on the scoreboard. She is pretty awesome. A lot of awesome ladies here bowling this morning in front of us. I'm personally going to miss Kristen Kwa. She's a senior this year from Singapore. Been really impressed covering this event the last few years with her bowling. I talked to Coach Williamson and Coach Barnes yesterday, and I asked why she wasn't lower in the lineup, and she's dealing with carpal tunnel and can't bowl the 10th frame. Oh, look at the 4-pin drop. So she's a little bit injured out here today. That's why they have her in kind of a safe spot in the lineup in the 3 position. Got a score correction needs to take place. Still a 9-pin match here. Vanderbilt with the lead. Can Vanderbilt go for star frame here? All 5 strikes. And they do, just not in the way that you would typically see as a Brooklyn finishes it off. Look at the strikes for Vanderbilt. A ton of strikes up on the board. Stephen F. Austin hanging in there with a couple of doubles themselves, but Vanderbilt really putting the pedal to the metal and really taking the lead here in this match. Vanderbilt's bowling like the #1 team in the country, and you can see why right here. Four in a row. The leadoff bowler. Fill in frames, strike up on the board. The second and third bowler, a double for the fourth bowler. And Maria now with 6 in a row. All right. Stephen F. Austin still not out of this match yet. Another great shot out there, back-to-back 10 pins. Gotta make them though. Back-to-back missed 10 pins. Not good for Stephen F. Austin. Oh boy. Looks like that was either missed a little bit at the bottom or it was a little too quick. Didn't quite get up to the head pin. 1, 2, 10. It's pretty good. It's a good shot. We had a question here in the chat about the lane pattern, and this is the lane pattern. Once again, it is 41 feet in length, 2.07 to 1 ratio, very flat, 26 milliliters of oil on the lanes. Brunswick Pro-Am lane surface. I was told the install was in the late 1990s, and that this is one of the first Brunswick Pro-Am lane installs. That's what I heard third hand. So as of right now, it's a 59-pin lead for Vanderbilt going into the 9th frame. 59 pins difference. And don't forget, this is your traditional regular team game of bowling. Coming up next after this will be 5 games of Baker total pinfall. Whoever wins this, which looks like Vanderbilt, if Vanderbilt were to go on and then win the 5 Baker games, then this would be over, and Stephen F. Austin would finish third in this event. However, if Stephen F. Austin were to lose this game but then win the Baker, we would go to a best of 7 Baker head-to-head matches. Likewise, if Stephen F. Austin were to come back here and Vanderbilt were to win the Baker, then we would go to a best of 7. So coming down to it here, Vanderbilt really stepped it up mid-game with a bunch of strings of strikes. Stephen F. Austin with some missed single pin spares, 3 in a row, may come back to bite them. If you look at the scores top to bottom on both teams, Vanderbilt's leadoff bowler can bowl 243. Stephen F. Austin 215. 193 for the second bowler for Vanderbilt. 227 for Stephen F. Austin. Kristen here can now bowl in the 190s. 190 or 204, sorry. 232 still left here for Stephen F. Austin's third bowler. Still 232 left. 2:13 left for Vanderbilt's 4 bowler. 197 for Stephen F. Austin. But it's a big difference here. The anchor bowler, Maria Bolanova, can still bowl 269. Only 227 for Dakota Hazelwood. Big difference. Well, coming down the wire here, Stephen F. Austin, all these strikes, trying to fight here, win this traditional team game. They are closing in. It will be a matter of which team can throw more strikes in the 10th frame, I believe, will determine this first game match. Little left the target on that shot. I think she'd like to have it back. I kind of like this thing that Stephen F. Austin does where they turn around and look at their teammates and say, I'm a great spare shooter, and they say, yes, you are. College bowling. One of the fun things about college bowling is all the cheering and what they say to one another. So it's 54 pin advantage for Vanderbilt going into the 10th frame here. Vanderbilt with 5 marks going in. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 marks for Stephen F. Austin. So a 44 pin lead if you count in the marks. Kind of old school there. All right, starts right here. Vanderbilt with a 4 pin. Stephen F. Austin can throw a double here. Pick up 10 pins or give or take a couple here. So let's see what happens on this first ball from Stephen F. Austin. They're going to need some doubles where Vanderbilt girls do not double. So that looks very similar to what's been happening on that lane for her, coming in high. At 6, 7, 10 hurts. Vanderbilt with the spare. So Vanderbilt's going to extend the lead a little bit after the leadoff bowlers. A well-bowled game here, 223 max score. Let's see if we can get a pin to slide over here. This would be big. Nope, just count. Nothing bounced out. Only 6 on the fill. 219. Left lane's hooking a lot more than the right lane, from what I can tell. Once again, this event is a double elimination bracket. And these super matches that we have, the 1-team game, the 5 Baker games total pins, and then the rubber match if needed. 4 teams, or 4 games. First team to win 4 games out of 7 in head-to-head Baker. A little more speed on that shot. Still comes in high. Pretty good game though, 205. She'll take that, especially with that gutter spare in the 5th. What a magnificent shot there. The 3rd position. That strike there adds 30. Exactly what Stephen F. Austin needs. After that first strike, it's now a 33-pin lead for Vanderbilt. That was another really good shot, leaves the 4-pin. Kristen with a strike. For whatever reason, it just seems like every time, 9th, 10th frame, whatever it is, late in the match, Kristen Quaz up on the approach. She's going to throw a strike. That one thrown a bit out the window, right at target. 1, 2, 4, 8 remains. All right, setting it up here. Strike here in the 10th for the 4th bowler. Scoreboard says 24-pin advantage for Vanderbilt right now, 24 pins. Oh boy. Wow. A little bit of hold room there. Straighter is greater. Big double for Vanderbilt. They have a 28-pin lead now. Barring a disaster, Vanderbilt's going to take this first game. Doesn't really matter. So with games of 191, 205, 221, 185, and 204, Stephen F. Austin throws up 1,006. Very, very good score. But Vanderbilt already at 1034. So Vanderbilt's going to take this first game as we head into Baker. Glad you're with us this morning. It's the Southland Bowling League Championship semifinal match. The winner of this match will go on to take on Sam Houston State about 11 a.m. here Central Time. We'll have that for you right here on Inside Bowling coming up after this one. So it's 10:40 for Vanderbilt as they take a lead here and they get the point. We'll be right back with the Baker games here in just a moment.
a minute, guys. Okay, time to get together and get started.
Go, girl. Come on. Let's do what we talked about. Yeah! You gotta drink when you can. I saw your light flash before Megan is in the bathroom. 3, 4, 7. Okay. 3, 4, 7. That's how I do. I'm always like 3.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. 2019 Southland Bowling League Championship semifinal match. We call it round 5 here. And Stephen F. Austin's going to get us started here in the Baker portion. And a good opening shot. Be interesting to see what the scores look like here because both teams have done a nice job breaking down this pair. The lane shut off. I don't even know what that was, but well, I'm sure they'll get that corrected with a score change. 9. Use a 10 pin. Let's see if it registers it up on the scoreboard. If not, I'm sure they'll get it added right now. Yep, there it is. So a 10 pin apiece here. Oh boy. You gotta make your spares. I mean, that is just crucial. We saw Stephen F. Austin in the last match. They lost by 34 pins and they missed 3 single pin spares back to back to back, and it ended up costing them. Right there, just that alone. Spare shooting, very important. And just like that, you make a 10 pin, you miss a 10 pin, and suddenly you're down by 11. That quickly. Two, 7, 8. Not an easy spare by any means. You definitely want to hook into this from the right. Want your ball traveling cross lane. Hit the right side of the 2 pin while it's still driving to take out the 8. Knock the 2 right into the 7. See how she does. Just like that. Perfect. I don't know what's taking Stephen F. Austin so long to bowl here. I'm not sure what's going on. Well, this has been enjoyable to watch in this first game of Baker. We were seeing a clinic being put on, a lot of strikes. We've only got the one open that started out for Stephen F. Austin. The single pin missed, the 10 pin again. We've seen a split conversion from Vanderbilt. The 2, 7, 8. A lot of shots in the pocket. High scoring. You couldn't want anything else more than this from a semifinal match. Stephen F. Austin bowled 1,006 in the traditional team game. It's 200 a player. Oh, solid 8 from Kristen. And 1040 for Vanderbilt. Even a better score than the traditional team games. Vandy's up 1-0. These 5 games of Baker will determine if it's a 2-0 sweep or if it will be a 1-1 tie game, and we will head to 7 games of first team to win 4, best of 7. Baker head-to-head matches. Glad you're with us here on Inside Bowling this morning. It's the Southland Bowling League Championship. If you want to find out more information about the Southland Bowling League, head over to southland.org. We're here at USA Bowl here in Dallas, Texas. Okay, Vanderbilt has a possible 213 to start out the Baker portion. Stephen F. Austin can still bowl 199. Left lane certainly does want to hook more down lane off the spot. Right lane's much tighter. $213 for Vanderbilt. They're going to have a lead in this Baker section here. Only 186 is the best Stephen F. Austin can do. That's with a spare here and a strike. Stephen F. Austin's spare shooting today has been suspect. That was not how she wanted to convert that spare. 185 for Stephen F. Austin. That's a 28-pin lead for Vanderbilt after the first game of Baker here at USA Bowl in Dallas, Texas. Game number 2, the storyline here is grinding through the game, filling frames. If you're just joining us this morning, Vanderbilt defeated Stephen F. Austin in the traditional team game 1040 to 1006. Left lane hooks a little bit more than the right lane from what we can tell. Stephen F. Austin bowls a little bit better on the right lane than they do on the left lane. In the Baker system, you switch lanes back and forth. In the first game, it was 213 for Vanderbilt, 185 for Stephen F. Austin. They have a 28-pin lead currently. Going into this game number 2, there would be 5 games. Total pinfall determines. If Vanderbilt wins this, they will advance to go on to face our undefeated team right now, Sam Houston State. Vanderbilt coming in as the number 1 seed. Stephen F. Austin, the 4 seed. And Sam Houston State, the number 2 seeds, are probably going to show up soon here in the building to get ready for their match as they got to sleep in this morning. Coach John Williamson told me that he had his Vanderbilt girls up today at 5:15 in the morning, and they went and had breakfast and then came over here. It was an early, early morning. So the string will stop at 3 for Vanderbilt in this game number 2. Wow. Pin action. I just mentioned it, I thought Sam Houston State would show up pretty soon. And now they're here. Possible 235 for Vanderbilt. Possible 236 for Stephen F. Austin. Wanna grab a headset for a second?
Sure.
Yeah, just, yeah, there you go. Yep, should be good. You working okay there?
I think so.
Okay. Got Coach Brad Hagen joining me for a moment here on the call here in game number 2 of Baker. Brad, nice to have you with me. I appreciate you stopping in.
Thanks.
So you guys are undefeated.
It's been a good run so far.
It really has. You guys really needed this one too.
Yeah, the numbers on the NCAA side, anyways, between 3 through 6 have been so close, and a lot of the early on stuff in the season has now kind of not paid dividends for us. So we've really had to fight over the last 2 tournaments, and we've had back-to-back double digits, and this weekend was really important for us too. So far so good, and hopefully we can finish what we came up here to do. Is
there a team you'd rather bowl?
No, not at all. I mean, we got to play our game. I hate to be cliche about that, but both teams, even compared to our games, there's a lot of similarities in comparison. And the good thing is, no matter who we bowl, we're all going to be in the same part of the lane for the most part. So again, just like this match, it's going to come down to execution and filling frames, and whoever does that's going to come out here with the trophy.
Vanderbilt with 235. It's a huge game in Baker.
Yeah, this pattern's tough to score on, and it's been brutal. And that pair, 19 and 20, has been tough for everybody all week. That curtain definitely plays a big factor in the lane transition. We were talking about that, and that's kind of one of the big deals and almost motivation why we didn't want to bowl this morning, knowing that pair. I mean,
really,
that was just kind of part of our self-motivation, was get a few more minutes of sleep and not play on that pair. I mean, it's been by far the toughest scoring pair this week.
Yeah, yesterday we saw Arkansas State and I believe it was Stephen F. Austin down there, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, and I could pull up my bracket and find out exactly, but it was like 880 to 880, or 880 to 860. Everybody else was bowling, or 950s or so at least.
Yeah, and that was our match as well. When we bowled Arkansas there in the afternoon, the delays didn't help us with the pattern settling, but we both shot 800s in the team set, and then we come back in the Baker set and we both averaged 220. So, once the lane transition and blended out, it was playable, but early on in the day it was very demanding.
One thing about Stephen F. Austin is I feel like they've been playing further right than any other team.
Yeah, I believe so. Talking to the coaches, they definitely did a 180. They stuck to one game plan, and it didn't work out very well on Friday. And then yesterday they decided to change their game plan out, get a little straighter and a little more in their wheelhouse, and it's been paying dividends. And
yeah, it's worked.
And they're just trying not to give up the pocket and fill frames, which obviously is the goal for all of us. But you got to play into the strengths of your team and adjust as you go with the transition. So
Stephen F. Austin comes in this morning, bowls 1,006 and gets beat by 34.
Yeah.
But they missed 3 single pin spares in a row.
Yeah, which, 10-0 could have been 10-50 real quick with good count. And, unfortunately, when the teams in this conference are just so good across the board, and if somebody gets lined up, you just can't give away the makeables, and you got to eliminate those mistakes. And we've been on both sides of it. So.
Yeah, and then here in Baker, Stephen F. Austin bowls 185, 213, pretty respectable.
Yeah, I mean,
and they find themselves down 50.
Yeah, you're basically even through 2, and most days of the week that's pretty solid. So
yeah, 213, 235 for Vanderbilt. We're talking it over with Coach Brad Hagen from Sam Houston State. So what do your girls do now? Will they start bowling some warm-up here, or what's the rules?
Yeah,
how does that work?
I talked to the tournament director. What we're going to do is kind of play it by ear. Right now it's just all about mental. It's about mentally making sure we're in the right place. But if they go to the best 4 out of 7, they go the distance, we'll take advantage of our 20-minute warm-up period. If not, we're mentally ready to get going as soon as they say we're ready. So, and then we'll just take advantage of the normal 22 minutes of warm-up. So
yes, 22 minutes.
That extra 2 minutes, man. So yeah, we're just going to kind of play it by ear, and right now we're mentally ready to go in an hour if need be. If we get a little more time to get a few spares in, we'll do so, and we'll go. Anyways, we're mentally ready, and that's where I feel we're probably at the most advantage right now.
And so if this ends up being a 2-0 closeout, when will the next match start? Have you been told about that? Or?
I believe it'll be roughly an hour after the last ball, once they oil, and they will move it up a few minutes, I believe, just because today's a travel day.
Now, just on a personal note, this is just a personal note for me, but they didn't let me know as the 10-pin almost falls. They didn't let me know of the format change until I got here.
Oh, really?
And
Whoops.
my flight out is at 4:30 today.
Oh, so you want
So I wouldn't mind you guys just go ahead and sweeping this thing 2-0 and
take care of business?
calling it a day. Yeah. So
grab the
that's
hardware
just a
and go.
special request from me.
All right, well, I appreciate that. Not that you're ruined for anybody, but whoever it is. Keep it in the EBI family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little shameless plug there.
Yeah. That's true too.
So, but it'd be nice to have an all EBI final. But I mean, all the best to SFA and Vanderbilt, and regardless of who it is, it's going to be a good match.
I just like watching really good bowling, and that's what I've seen so far today.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about the Southland Bowling League. We've created a juggernaut. It's not a bad thing, but it brings the best out of everybody. And even the teams that aren't as ranked as high RPI-wise, or most everybody's in the top 25, top 30 in our league. And at any given day, the better teams bring out, the competitiveness out of everybody. And that's what's really special about our league and the teams that are in it. It's, at any given day, the other team could show up, no matter the caliber of the talent, depth of each team. And that's the exciting part about our league. You got to show up, and you got to avoid those mistakes.
How many? Wow, that 10-pin just will not fall. So I guess my question is the Southland Bowling League throughout the year, like how do they know how to rank you in this bracket for this event?
Well, what we decided and voted on as a league is the NCAA numbers were released, and whether there's a gap or it's 1/100th of a point, we just went straight RPI.
Okay.
So if there was a tie by chance where, let's say, a team was tied at 600.600, then we'd fall back to the head-to-head for the tiebreaker. But as a league, we just voted on straight RPI, and you fall where you fall. And again, with our league, I mean, a 4, 5, 6 could be just as good, depending on the pattern and the day of the week, as
right.
1, 2, 3. So, I mean, we got a super competitive league. So, again, the teams that show up and the ones that are mentally the most engaged and ready to go are the ones that usually prevail at this event. And we've seen that over the years with the finalists.
And we had a change this year, a team drop out and a team come in.
Yeah, and it was nice we could fill that spot. Logistically, it still kind of doesn't make sense, but the good thing is at least Youngstown State replacing Monmouth. Monmouth was an East Coast team. Youngstown could be argumentatively an East Coast team, but they're technically in the Central Region. So when they added Division I bowling, they were dubbed as a Central Region team, even though they're, air quotes, in the Northeast. So it made a little more sense. And then they're actually in the same conference, I believe, as Valparaiso. So if it kind of made sense. Logistically, we were hoping more for like a UAB or somebody a little more south, but UAB took the opportunity to join the MEAC, which was great for them. And then Monmouth had an opportunity to join the MEAC, which logistically and financially makes a little more sense for them. And thankfully, the crew at Youngstown State and their athletic department allowed them to be a part, and we welcomed them with open arms. And they're going to get better and better each year, too. La Tech's going to keep getting better. Valpo's going to keep growing. So, unfortunately, in a good way, our conference isn't going to get any easier anytime soon.
No, I agree with you 100%. Doug Kaburski is someone I bowled some youth events against years and years ago, along with Justin Costick.
Oh, yeah.
They're buddies, and
there's a good little pedigree there.
Against each other.
Yeah, and Doug was, helping Costick out for a little bit at Arkansas, and they moved on to a JUCO, took advantage of a good opportunity there, and then Youngstown panned out. So he's actually been at 3 different universities in a year. I think a year and some change. So, he's going through a transition period, but once he's able to get some recruitment under his belt and kind of get his own recruits in there, I think that's when we're going to see Youngstown really take a step forward. And they're sneaky. I mean, you get them on some friction, and they're going to keep up with anybody. So there's no gimme in this league, and that's, I think, what everybody genuinely appreciates. but yet genuinely is frustrated with as well.
Yes. Stephen F. Austin there with a double. Doubles are so important in Baker.
Yeah, we yesterday against Vanderbilt, that was I was talking to our sports information guy, and we were grinding and filling frames, but I was like, God, we got to figure out how to double. And then we were lucky enough in game 4 to string, I think, at least 3 in a row, and had a little bit of a brain fart in there, and then we were lucky to at least make up a few pins, get it within 3. And then, but yeah, it was one of those things where you just got to grind out the 7 and 8 spares and manage the pocket, and manage the lane, and keep your lines in front of you, and then hope you can sneak a double in there somewhere.
Yeah, you just do. That's really the name of the game and what you got to do.
9 spares huge at this event, and yeah, you just hope you can grind out those 192-0s and try to capitalize on the other team if they make a mistake.
How far of a drive is it for you guys to come here?
It's not bad. We're 80 miles, 60 to 80 miles north of Houston. So from the Arlington area, it's about 2.5. From here, it's about a good 3 hours, depending on traffic. So it's, hopefully we can take care of business and be a nice, easy ride for us for the most part. This is anything in the Metroplex or in Houston is one of our more shorter trips, which is nice for us as much as we travel.
So how do you get prepared for an event like this? What day do you leave on? You know, how often do you stop for meals? Where do you eat? Take me through college bowling as a college bowling coach right now in 2019.
Well, the last 10 days for us have been a little bit of a whirlwind because we literally were at Vanderbilt's event last week. We flew out dark and early, as we say, Thursday morning. Did our prep on Thursday on a travel day at a short practice day anyways on Thursday. Friday we competed all day. Saturday we competed all day. Sunday we competed all day. Back at the airport Monday. We actually this week with conference coming up, we took Monday off, which is unusual for us. We usually get right back on the lanes and then take Tuesday off to kind of do our preventive stuff and get the TLC from the trainers, but kind of switched it up this week because our men's team made the NIT tournament, was playing TCU up here in Fort Worth on Wednesday night. So opted to get the competitive juices going, and we practiced Wednesday morning and then came up here Wednesday night to take in the game. Unfortunately, we lost, but it was a good game. And then Thursday, we just got back to our normal routine and got up, did what we had to do, breakfast, had lunch, here for the practice session, and then you hope you got your ducks in order, and here we are. So, I mean, that's a very, very, very abbreviated version of the last 10 days, but, I'm not so superstitious at all, but I am a creature of habit, and I think routine's important, and our routine doesn't vary from October to last week, other than maybe we change our day off, but our biggest hurdle this semester has been we have a new facility. So we had to change our practice times. We literally went from practicing 3 to 7 every night to 6:30, 7 in the morning till 10:30.
Really?
So our whole schedule did a 180. So that's been the biggest adjustment for us, is just getting comfortable with the new routine. But I believe it's so important like this where you start practicing more so when you compete. And very rarely do we ever have a match past 3, 4 o'clock at night. So I think it's been beneficial, and we've had a good second half, which has helped where we are now.
That's interesting, to move from the afternoon to the morning.
Yeah, complete 180. We literally went from finishing up each day at 7, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night from traveling to practice. I mean, at one point we were in 3 different facilities a week, which was quite exhausting, but the girls did it with no complaints and open eyes and open arms, and it is just what we got to do to be competitive. But it's nice now that we have a facility on campus, and we can just kind of wake up, roll out of bed, and get to work, punch the clock, and get to work. But I should probably hop off here.
Okay, bud.
But appreciate the opportunity to
Yeah, bro.
chit-chat, and always a pleasure to talk to you.
Appreciate it. That's
All
Coach
right.
Brad Hagen from Sam Houston State University, the undefeated in the winners bracket, and we're going to see him coming up bowling here as soon as we're done with this match here. Thanks, Brad. Good insight. So a possible 202 for Vanderbilt, 201 for Stephen F. Austin. Still going to be around a 50-pin lead for Vanderbilt. .202 for Vanderbilt, so they bowled 213, 235, 202. Really good shooting this morning. 200 even for Stephen F. Austin. So 52-pin lead for Vanderbilt going into this game number 3 at Baker. Well, that's unusual. Didn't expect a gutter. I don't think you ever do, but back to back. It's clear that Vanderbilt's playing further in on the lane and that Stephen F. Austin continues to play the outside part of the lane to the point that they've got 2 gutters this game. When Brad was in the booth, he was talking about just how demanding this pattern is and how brutal it is. He's absolutely right. So scoring pace going way down here. And this would be a great opportunity for Stephen F. Austin to be able to make up some pins as Vanderbilt's struggling, but both teams struggling. This is the 3rd game of our Baker competition. Vanderbilt already won the traditional team game earlier today. 1-0 is the lead there. They can close it out and go 2-0. They win the Baker portion. Total pins, again, as a reminder, total pins in this Baker competition. You see this up on the scoreboards. It's 650 to 598 after 3. Vanderbilt with a double in the 8th and the 9th. Trying to salvage a game here. Stephen F. Austin 77-6. Now staring at a split. Stephen F. Austin's burying themselves into even a bigger hole here. Looking to be down as many as 80 or 90 pins going into the final. Final game number 5 coming up. We did see yesterday, though, that Arkansas State almost ran down 78 pins in the final game. So Vanderbilt letting them hang around a little bit here. Stephen F. Austin, if they could find a way to strike out until the last 5, it'd be 176. They could make up pins, but that's a tall order to ask right now, considering they don't have a strike this entire game. So it's 165 for Vanderbilt, 140 for Stephen F. Austin. So that means 77 pin deficit going into this last game. Stephen F. Austin's going to finish 3rd in the tournament if they can't figure out a way to win this game by 78 pins. 78, they're trailed by 77. Vanderbilt is cruising along here. And don't forget, coming up an hour after this match, we'll be back live here on Inside Bowling with the championship match between Sam Houston State, who is undefeated, will take on the winners of this match, which looks like right now it's going to be Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt starts with a strike. A 223 score here by Vanderbilt would lock it up, even if Stephen F. Austin were to bowl 300. So math not on the side of Stephen F. Austin right now. And Vanderbilt starts with a double. Stephen Stephen F. Austin must match what Vanderbilt's doing if they're going to have any chance whatsoever. Oh, and they do. So here we go. It's amazing how the scores can fluctuate here, isn't it? Stephen F. Austin bowls 185, 213, 200, 140. And then this this game here, you know, they coming back and getting back on the 2-0 train. Oh. So long and the short here is Vanderbilt's going to advance and bowl for the title. They're going to bowl against Sam Houston State, who's now warming up down on lanes 33 and 34. We're going to use lanes 27 and 28 to bring you that match today. From what I understand, it's going to be about an hour. I'm going to find out right now. I'm being told that we will have about a 15 to 20 minute break and we'll go right into the next round, everybody. So we will stop the stream and restart a new one. So you want to stay tuned for that. I do want to thank everybody for watching this morning, this round number 5. Congratulations, though, to Stephen F. Austin. I know they didn't win, but they bowled really great this tournament. They should feel really proud of how they bowled. Vanderbilt, #1 ranked team in the country, no surprise why. You know, they bowled 1040 and then they bowled 213, 235, 202. They had a little chink in the armor there, the 165 game, but both teams fell off in game 4, 140 for Stephen F. Austin. Vanderbilt now can bowl 221, which is absolutely a tremendous score. They're going to go plus again for these 5 games in Baker. And then Stephen F. Austin here is going to finish strong as well. They can still bowl 214. But Vanderbilt's going to advance. Maria Bolanova finishes it out with a strike. 221 for Vanderbilt. $1,036 for the Baker format for Vanderbilt. $1,040 in the traditional team game earlier, so pretty steady. Stephen F. Austin can finish with 193. Four, 7, 10. So that's going to do it for this round number 5.
They move on to the championship round where they will take on the #2 seed Sam Houston. If Sam Houston wins the first match, they will become the champion and gain the automatic berth in the NCAA championships.
automatic berth into the NCAA National Championships at stake coming up here in about a half an hour here on Inside Bowling. We'd like to thank you guys for watching today. And on behalf of tournament official Rick Barbera, Josh Modello and his family, the proprietors here at USA Bowl, Thomas Samuel, the executive director of the Southland Bowling League, I'm Mike Flanagan from Inside Bowling. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in a little bit for the championship here from the Southland Bowling League.